But to get us started, why don't you just introduce yourselves and tell our people who you are, where you're from, and how we're connected.
Yeah, I love it. I'm Mike Miller, and I'm the executive director of Love in the Name of Christ. Love in the Name of Christ, or Love, Inc. of Muskegon County. And been serving in that role for almost 7 years now. And we've been partnering with Forest Park since I was in diapers, I think, like a long time. So.
Yeah, and I'm Josh Alviar, the development director, Love in the Name of Christ. I've been with Love now for about a year and a half. So it's been a great journey. My position is the first, right?
Yeah.
So it's been exciting to get out and just meet donors and all the pastors and the church families and all that good stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. For sure.
So a year and a half, how has that changed in that year and a half from maybe what you anticipated it would be?
Well, when I first sat down with Mike, in my interview, he told me this crazy idea about a restaurant.
Yeah.
Was my first thing, we had talked about, and he asked me my feelings about fundraising for that. Mm-hmm. I said, hey, let's go. But the growth, with Love Cafe, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but the growth with Love Cafe, but not only that, but with the church partners and the New Directions classes, it's been a season of growth, since I stepped into the role, and just getting to be a part of that, it's been absolutely incredible. So it's been a fun ride, man. That's for sure. That's cool. A lot more to come,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's exciting.
Mike, what about you? Like in your time here, how has your role or even what Love Inc. is doing shifted or changed?
Oh man, it's been a ride. When I started, we had 3 employees for a while. We went down to 3 employees during COVID. I got here in November of 19. So COVID hit right away. I promise I didn't bring it to Michigan. It's just, we happened to move in at the same time. And we had 38 volunteers. So in the time since then, we added our store, Love It Again Resale Store out on Sherman. We've added our restaurant, Love Cafe. We added our appliance ministry, our counseling ministry, our blessing bag ministries for our unsheltered homeless neighbors. And now we're at 18 staff, if you count like all our apprentices and our store people, like everyone. Most are part-time, but we have some full-timers.
Mike, can you pull that a little closer to your
face? Are you losing me?
Getting
Sorry.
in and out.
And so it's been such a journey, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of growth rapidly, and as we continue to look at what does the Lord have for us. So church partner wise, we've grown quite a bit as well, and that's the thing is Loving's whole thing is mobilizing churches. How can we help churches engage with the community? How can we build up the church and connect people to churches? Mm-hmm. So that I think re-emphasis on our mission has been important, as we've had new board members come along in those last 7 years, and it's been fun, but it's been a lot. It's been a lot. We have over 200 volunteers now. We're doing good things. We're having a lot of fun, but it's not been easy. It's definitely not been easy. It's been the hardest post I've had in my ministry career, but I've loved it. I've loved every bit of it. Yeah,
that's a sign of joy and calling.
Yeah,
when it's hard, but you're still loving it and you're still seeing God at work.
Yeah, it is, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, if it's all easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
And Hannah is on her second day with us. She's wandering around the studio right now, taking pictures of us.
Second day.
Oh,
right on.
She's our new communications coordinator. So we haven't had this talk yet, but here's the preview of the talk for her sake. And Joshua and I had this talk, and with every employee, I have this talk of, you're joining a ministry now, and you've come out of not ministry into ministry, a ministry that's being used by God in mighty ways. For some folks that come to us for maybe the first time, you kind of have a target on your back for the enemy, right? Mm-hmm. And not to over spiritualize things, but we believe in Jesus Christ, and therefore we believe in everything he said, which includes the truth that there's a deceiver and there is an enemy, and he doesn't like what we're doing for the kingdom. So to join us means you're part of a team that the enemy doesn't like. So be prayed up, be encouraged, have have your sword of the Spirit, right? The Word, and be in it. Have a good church family around you, and know that I'm praying for them, and others are. And so we wait until after they're hired to tell them. That's the key.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's an important conversation. It's something that's going on with us. Is just an awareness that we're kingdom building here, and we're doing it. Remember, what is the Old Testament? Was it Nehemiah with the plowshares, and they were building the wall with one hand and holding a sword in the other hand.
Yep.
And
it's one of my favorite verses.
Yeah. So I'm butchering it, but but I think that's where we're at Love Inc. We have been building the kingdom, but not without attack, and not that we're under anything unusual right now for stressors, but it's just the enemy doesn't like what we're all about in Muskegon. So yeah.
It's a great point, man, because even like he'd tell me that same type of thing early on, and you feel it when you first start getting on and doing the work we do. It's just like Mike said, it's just staying prayed up all the time and staying laser focused on the mission at hand, and that's that's our neighbors in need all across Muskegon County.
Do you have an example, a story, of something that just you'd share about how you've maybe seen that happen?
Yeah, I think the biggest one for me was, when I first came on, I hit the ground running. I wanted to get in as many churches as possible. I wanted to share our mission.
Yeah.
And every time I did, there's, everybody is always like, oh, I didn't know Loving did this, or I didn't do that. But, prior to this role, I was every Sunday at church, serving in multiple ways with my church. But being in other churches pulled me away from my church family. So it was a slippery slope, to try to balance that ministry life, but then still love on your church family, make sure my personal family still engaged with the church like they were before. Yeah. So it was tough. It kind of felt like the enemy was kind of coming in at times, but, Mike was very supportive with how to handle that with me being first-time ministry. Sure. He gave me some great advice, great tips and tricks on how to balance it, and it's been smooth sailing ever since. So, yeah.
For now.
Right. For now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys have said a lot of really cool things. Just one I want to touch on real quick is our church has a connection to you. We have for a long time, like you said. Right now, we have a pantry going. How has your connection to us grown and changed? Maybe how is that an example of what you guys are hoping to do with other churches?
Yeah. So the story of Love Inc. and Forest Park goes back quite a way. And we have to pause for a second to recognize Gary Tidball, right? Amazing man. You guys had the Celebration of Life here. We got to come be a part of that, and celebrate him. We saw, I don't know, we took Gary out to lunch a few weeks back.
We did. Yeah.
Before he passed. And, just a guy who, man, exuded Christ in a lot of ways. He's an imperfect, not now. Now he's in heaven. He's been perfected, but an imperfect man who loved people, loved the Lord, and wanted to not waste his time. Yeah. Right. And so, anyway, I could talk about Gary for a minute, but, bottom line, Gary's wife started with us actually, and she was volunteering for us back when we were on Hall Road near Orchard View Schools, and came with us with our move down Apple Avenue. And then it was time for her to be done, but she recruited Gary, and he was newly retired from the plant that he was running, and said, no, you're getting involved with Love Inc. now. And what Gary was passionate about was mentoring folks, especially in financial literacy. And so, Warren and Gary and others from your church just started to get really involved in what eventually became our New Directions program. So really those guys, I mean, Warren was a big part of it too. Kay at the church here was involved in getting us started with our classes. So, thinking about Love Inc. and what we do in general, we help people. We call them neighbors. We don't call them clients. Neighbors come to us. They have a need, and that need may be for food or financial assistance or one of a plethora of things. But when they come in, we listen. We sit and have a conversation with them and listen. And then we direct them to the different help, that is available. And so one thing that we do is try to recruit them into these classes, and they're life skill classes. 6.5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that, we were in 3 churches with those classes, including Forest Park. In the last year and a half, we've been in 26 churches with those classes.
Wow.
So we've had some growth there. But those classes really started in partnership with Forest Park. So the people of Forest Park saying, we'll do this. And so there was mentoring and there were classes, and the program grew a lot under one of my predecessors, Gail Kraft, and then Matt Cayley. And then it's continued to grow under the leadership of Kim Rokas, formerly Kim Wernstrom. She's got married, so hat tip to
Sure, love to hear that.
to Mark Rokas, her new hubby. But that program has been our biggest connection. Now, we've also had pantries here. We had a time of refocusing with those classes because we felt like, we were in one church where the church kind of maintenance person would come unlock the door, let us in, would do our classes. He would come back and lock the door. And we said, we got to meet with these folks because that's not Love Inc. We want to be a partnership.
Yeah,
and
you're hoping for more connection.
Yeah, the whole thing is to invite them. Like, we want our neighbors to have a positive experience in your local church building. So maybe their first positive experience with the church. And so we talked to that church about, we really want to clarify our partnership of hosting and those kind of things. But Forest Park has done that with us for a long time. And so just partnering with classes, we've had pantries here. I think we have, a personal care pantry is reopened again here now, which is great. People don't think of personal care all the time. And it's, so we spend a lot of cash on personal care actually, because people will donate food to us or donate toward food. But personal care items, deodorant, anything, sanitization, anything hygiene, toilet paper, we go through a lot of that. And we're, for our 4 personal care pantries, we're spending a lot of cash on those things. But the churches try to help us, including Forest Park, and the congregation trying to provide those things. But they know they have the backing of Love Inc. so that no neighbor goes unserved. And so we have that partnership too. So it's just been a great partnership over the years of, Forest Park really being one of our, I don't know if Forest Park was one of our founding churches or not. Unfortunately, it's been lost. We've been around now almost 45 years, but they've definitely been involved for decades. And it's a beautiful thing. But as we refocused on our mission and what that is and what that looks like, I think Forest Park has gone through some transition too. And the idea of it's all about Christ, and that people grow best in the context of a local congregation. Yeah. And so Love Inc. does not go around, underneath, above the church. We are not a parachurch ministry that is in spite of the church, but to grow the church and partner with the church. And so I think, our kind of refocus on that, and then Forest Park, as it's been growing and changing and adapting to today, right, has been a great partnership for a long time, and I think will be for a long time in the future too.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I've been here 12 years, and I remember the day when just random people would come in and say, hey, we need help. We need food. We need money. We need this, we need that. And we'd try to help them. And I think it kind of almost got into like a weird thing where we weren't doing a good job. We weren't helping them. We weren't maybe having a good connection. And we were missing like this connection that we knew we had with Love Inc.
Yeah.
And then kind of through the last couple of years, we've really kind of clarified. And I've noticed how much more helpful,
sure,
maybe even encouraging powerful.
Yeah.
Because you have the opportunity and more resources connecting with different churches, with people with different gifts.
Yeah.
It's just been such a cool thing to see.
And that's the story of Love Inc., right? So Love Inc. Muskegon County is the second oldest operating Love Inc. Love Inc. started in Holland, Michigan because of that exact thing. There were a bunch of little churches that were kind of saying that they actually had a pastor's meeting, and they're like, oh yeah, we helped this couple. And then another pastor said, wait a minute, you helped a couple with what? And it was the same bill. So both churches had helped.
Yeah.
One of them had given cash toward this bill. Well, the bill didn't have to be paid twice, right? So that money's going somewhere. And you know, that was the birth of really Love Inc. because Virgil Gawker, our founder, was involved in that, and just, you know, the idea of him thinking, you know, pastors are not very good social workers. That's not what they're supposed to be. That's not the calling. So if there is this need out there, how can we help the churches unify and do better? Now Love Inc. has grown so much. We have about 115 Love Incs. in 30 different states. And we have 11 affiliates in Kenya, Africa. And we have somewhere around 12 or 15 developing Love Incs. right now. The closest one to here would be up in Big Rapids. They're in their development phase. And there's a phase to starting one. But to start a Love Inc., you actually have to have now, depending on your location, right, how rural you are or whatever, but to start one in Muskegon, we would have to have 7 different churches say, we're excited about this and we want to work together. So that's what, yeah, it's just a common story to us that you know, Love Inc. coming around with different resources and be able to help, and that's our role in that partnership. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's just been so encouraging to see how it's grown and flourished. Maybe you guys could share like a story you've seen, a neighbor, you know, how they've connected and grown and been served.
Way to use neighbor. You're officially hired. Welcome to Love Inc.
I like that.
That's right. Yeah. We could share some. You want to share a story?
Let's see. There's so many of them.
How about the guy with the union job the other week?
Yeah, so we got a call. This was 2 weeks ago. Guy had a great union job. Unfortunately, he lost it out of nowhere. Just got a call. He called our offices. He's actually spoke with my mother, who volunteers with us. But he was needing help with rental assistance. And it was also his child's birthday, and he couldn't have any funds to get any birthday presents. So we told him we could help. You know, he came on in, set him an appointment. From our Christmas store from this past December, we had some extra gifts. So we brought those up. We surprised him with some gifts for his daughter, which meant the world to him. Yeah. And we were able to sit down with him. And one thing that I love about Love Inc. is our Connection Center volunteers. These are people that stand at the front lines. They're the ones that hear the stories. Mm-hmm. You know, they're in the intake rooms with them. They're listening to them. They're praying with them. They're loving on them. They're hearing every piece of their story and where they can help and where we can fit in to help. And then in this case, our Connection Center volunteer talked with them, prayed with them, and we were able to help, with that rental assistant need just to fill that gap because he already had another job lined up. Okay. He just needed a little help, just until those paychecks started to come in. But it's always so incredibly amazing to see how thankful these neighbors are when they come in and they meet with us and they receive the help because nobody wants to come in and ask for help. That's one of the hardest things to do, especially for men. You know what I mean? And for him to come in and us to meet those needs for him, it was just incredibly powerful.
Yeah, and Darlene, in that case, it shows the power of listening.
Yeah.
Because he was asking for rental assistance, and we did help with the rental assistance, so that's great. But because questions were asked, because there was a conversation, it surfaced that, oh yeah, today's my 7-year-old or 8 or whatever it was birthday. Mm-hmm. And, because they're asking those questions. So that comes up, and then we're able to turn around and say, hey, let's help with that too. Yes. And it's a beautiful thing. And then those items came from churches, so it's a great, I love my job.
You guys met Lisa coming in.
Yeah.
Yes. So Lisa works in our front office, and a lot of times is that first face for people.
Yeah.
And, she felt bad after a while. People would come in, ask for help, and we'd be like, hey, that's great. Go to Loving because they will set you wherever you need. They can help you.
Yeah.
And she's like, I like doing that, and I feel good about helping them, but I feel bad just sending them away. Like, okay, great that you came here, but now go. So after listening, after kind of figuring this out, we kind of came up with a system, just some like snacks and just sit down, some coffee, talk, listen, pray.
Yep.
And then encourage it, like, okay, now go to Love Inc.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just kind of cool to see like her heart come through that. And yet still the value, like we still have to partner with Love Inc. and all the
So valuing
churches and
people, ministering to them, but also recognizing where your limitations are to get them the bigger help they can get. I love that. That's great.
Yeah. So maybe Love Cafe is a newer thing. Anything more you want to say about that? What's going on with it?
There's so much we can
We
say
like to
about
talk
Love
about Love
Cafe.
Cafe.
Yeah. Love Cafe has been an amazing journey. I just came from there. Pay What You Can restaurant, we, with the job skills training program in the back, when diners come to eat with us, there's 3 calls to action. 1, pay what you can, even if that's nothing. 0. 2, pay what you normally pay for a meal of its caliber. Or 3, pay what you normally pay plus add a little on to bless a neighbor in need. And the stories that have come through there, man, there's been some powerful ones.
Yeah. It's
almost every day.
It's been amazing. And the food is amazing.
It is. It's very amazing.
It's amazing. I mean, and I happen to know the new menu that's going to be dropping here in 2 weeks, and Joshua doesn't.
I don't.
But I'm going to tell you, you're going to be very happy.
Well, good.
It's so good. Everything is made from scratch. Everything is delicious, and our folks who are in that internship, that apprenticeship program, they're learning so much, but it's not just culinary skills. We want to prepare them for restaurant management. But beyond that, what we really see, right, is helping them find a way to break the chains of poverty and come into a healthier place. But ultimately, we want this apprenticeship program to be us sending faith-filled people who love Jesus, love food, who are excited about that industry into the restaurants of Muskegon County, right? And so they're coming, they're learning under Chef. He prays with them. He spends so much time with them just doing life. And then they talk about things. They're talking about financial literacy. They're talking about, what's going on in your family. And then also knife skills and how to correctly smash up garlic and put it in, I don't know. And all those things. Yeah. They're getting certifications. Everything is paid for. They're getting ServSafe managers level certifications. They are paid. It's the only paid positions in the restaurant are these apprentices and the chef. So the hosts, the servers, the bussers, the dishwashers are all volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to see all these people so every name tag, you want to tell them about the name tags?
Yeah. So every name tag has a volunteer's name, of course, and it says where they're from. And that's for their church, because when they're, at a table serving some guests, our hope is that they invite them to church, or maybe that's a conversation starter, something along those lines. But it's just so cool because every piece of that cafe is there for a reason, from the name tags to all of our ministries at the top. It's just a front porch for our ministry and somewhere where we can invite people in for good food, good conversation, and fellowship. I mean, it's an amazing place. And I always tell the story, this was maybe 3 weeks after we opened, but I was there meeting with somebody from the chamber about a ribbon cutting ceremony. We had, 2 homeless people, sitting in the front window. We had a Bible study from a local church partnership. We had a birthday party for a lady and her friends. And they said they chose Love Cafe because she knew all of her friends could afford to eat there and come to her birthday party. Yeah. So it's just powerful when you see it in motion, right in downtown Muskegon, right here in our city. It's an amazing thing. And I would encourage anybody just to come feel, what's going on at Love Cafe. It's God's working in big ways there, and it's awesome to see.
And I like that story, Joshua, because it shows it's for everybody.
Yes.
There's very few places that are for everybody. Like our soup kitchens are wonderful in Muskegon and they're important, but they're not for you and me, right? They're for people in need. If I go in there with a tie on, I'm going to really stick out. Someone's going to ask me if I work there or something, you know what I mean? the dignity of sitting down and being served by a server and having a choice on a healthy, gourmet really menu is amazing. But the fact that it's for everybody, we've had people come in. Our highest right now is we had a lady come in, have a bowl of soup and I think coffee or something, and gave us a $2,000 check.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've had 500.
Cool.
We've had some
That's
others,
cool.
and then and so the generosity of the community, and then you've had people in extreme need, and then everything between. One we hit a lot is single moms, and maybe that single mom wouldn't be able to afford to take the kids out to eat. In fact, we had one in with 3 boys, and they were all boy. They were everywhere, man. They were. I'm like, do we give them the crayons? Because and as they're coming in, the one boy was so confused of where's the counter where I place my order. Fast food is all he really knew. So, and the moms explained, no, the helper comes and helps us, order, and I'll show you, sit down, and he kind of sat down, but, that kind of thing is amazing because we have neighbors who are making it, but they're paycheck to paycheck. What's our stat on that? We have, percent of neighbors that we serve who are employed.
Yep. So last year, reviewing the stats, 70% of the neighbors we serviced last year were working individuals, one paycheck away, one bad phone call away from being in a real bad situation. It's like he said, it's the individuals just living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe they paid all their bills, now they don't have money for food. Or maybe they paid all their bills and they don't have the toiletries they need. Yeah. That's where Love Inc. steps in. Not only us, but our partner churches.
Yeah, I think there's a misperception sometimes that that the average neighbor we're serving is a homeless person. Mm-hmm. It's often not. They often attend a church. They often are employed. I think of this one mom we had in last year that she was pregnant. She didn't have any maternity leave, but she planned for it, so she was okay. She saved up over the course of her pregnancy, had the baby, took the time off, and there was complications in the pregnancy that caused her to care for her infant. She had to miss an additional 4 or 5 weeks of work on top of the 4 weeks she had planned for and saved for. And so now she was looking at being late on a rent payment. She was ready to go back to work. We did the employment verification that we do when we're helping with financial assistance. We checked out her situation. She was employed. She had a lease. She, all of these things. And so we verified all of that. And then we're able to reach out to our church partners and say, here's a situation that we think, people could breathe into. And so they did. They stepped up and we were able to take care of that rent for her. And she was just tears, that we were able to help. But we were able to help because of our church partnerships. And I think it just demonstrates like the person we're helping might be your neighbor. Yeah.
Sure.
It's not all people who are homeless or something like that. And we're helping them as well. Yeah. But it's amazing the need in Muskegon County. So we just did that stat too, that the poverty rate in Muskegon County is 24.6%. So poverty, what was it? Family of 4 poverty. We said, these are old statistics because we looked them up for our event we just had. Yeah. Family of 4 was in the 30s. I think it was 34,000 a year for household income is considered poverty. So if you're making 40,000, you're still not making it.
Yeah, you're right.
But you're not considered poverty by the federal guidelines for our county. And yet a quarter of the population is at or below that poverty level in Muskegon County. In Muskegon Heights, it's 34%. Muskegon Township, it was almost 17%. So 1 out of 5, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 3, depending on where you're at in the county, is below that poverty level household. So there's real trouble. There's real problems. The housing costs are skyrocketing from 2020 to 2024. The price index for a cart of groceries for groceries went up 24.9%.
Yep.
So in 4 years to go up a quarter, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So.
You don't have to tell Justin that he's got 4 kids, I got 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel the squeeze for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, that was like one of the biggest like eye openers when I first came into this role. Prior, just doing life, it's busy. It's easy to pass by the people who are in need. But being in Love Inc. and seeing how much need there is right here in our backyard is a big deal that people need to know about. I mean, just last year, we impacted 5,300 neighbors in need with our food pantries alone. We have 10 of them, scattered across Muskegon County. I mean, that's a big number, right? And it's like I said earlier, some days get heavy, because you see and you just, it's for my role, donor relations, I don't ever want our Connection Center staff to have to say no to somebody. You know what I mean? And we see it. And like I said, we're in the thick of it every single day. We're on the front lines.
Yeah.
And if there's anything, people need to know that the struggle here is real and it's serious. So
Yeah. It's funny you say that. Like we have 10 you said?
10 food pantries. Yep.
Yeah. Because the more, driving around here, every time I turn a corner, I feel like I see a new Love Inc. place that I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Like Grand Haven and kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
So maybe tell us a little bit about some of the new exciting things or just changes and growth that you guys are seeing to help meet those needs.
I think that's good, but I think it's also like, it's a gut check to me because we want the church to shine.
Right.
Sure.
Not love it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we have been growing quite a bit. We added our counseling ministry, our appliance ministry. We give away washers, dryers, fridges, and stoves. We lease out a small workshop for that, and it's all volunteers who come in. Great partnership with Beacons Appliances. Mm-hmm. They're actually paying a couple of technicians to come out once a month and help us with some of those repairs, which is amazing. So washers, dryers, fridges, stoves get donated. We repair those. We scrap what we can't so that money goes right back into that ministry. Because as we listened to neighbors, we found, that was one cause of debt, and the fridge stopped working, and the mom's like, I'll put it on a credit card. So that's been growth. The store, of course, Love It Again Resale Store is amazing. As people go through the classes, they earn points. They're incentivized with these points. So if you go into our store, every price tag will say $4 or 4 points, $2 or 2 points. And people are like, what's these points? It's our way of dignity, right? For people to come in and shop anything in the store. There is nothing off limits to them. It's not, you get to shop this corner over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, the store is available to you. You've earned this by going to class and by completing assignments. And so now you get to have anything in store. So new volunteers helping with that, volunteers helping with the cafe. There's tons of ways to get involved. I think our churches, right? Our pastors are preaching. You have to use your gifts for the Lord. But what are our churches able to provide as far as opportunities to help? So if you're good at singing, if you're crazy enough to work with students, if you can do child care or child ministry, or if you can teach, you definitely have a spot. Maybe if you can greet people and smile and shake their hand on Sunday morning without scaring them away too much, we've got a spot for you. And there's other niche ministries, but if I'm great at bicycle repair and that's my passion, Love Inc. has a bike ministry, and we'd love to have more volunteers come in and just work on bikes. And we keep those people far from our neighbors. like they're not people, they're bike fixer people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Fix those bikes. Yeah. We're going to get them to the neighbors in need. Our folks that want to help at the restaurant, and they're serving tables and they're meeting people and they're sharing the Lord and the love of the Lord. But these people are people that are folding clothes and matching socks at the store, right? So we have all these areas. Our wheelchair ramp building ministry. We have 3 teams that go out and build wheelchair ramps. They're all volunteers, and that's a way people can get involved. So I think one thing that's exciting to me as a former pastor and as the Love Inc. director is just like, sometimes I say we're like a charter fishing service for Christians, because what did Jesus say? I'm going to make you fishers of men, right? And but how do you do that with your gift set and that kind of thing? And we're saying, hey, we know where the fish are.
Yeah.
The harvest is plenty. Let's go. And so I'll mix my metaphors. But as people get involved and they get to do what they're passionate about while serving the kingdom and expanding the kingdom and connecting people to churches. So exciting. I love it. It's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a matching service when you're matching up gifts, you're matching up people that have
exactly
that need churches and vice versa.
Yeah.
Kind of helping the whole body get working together.
And you don't even have to do a dating profile, right? Like there's no headshots involved. So it's good. But yeah, and we're having a fun time. People accepting Christ, people being prayed over, people they come into the restaurant and they're like, this is just a different place. It's a place set apart. We tell them it's a place of peace. It's been prayed over every day, and they find it to be a place like I want to eat lunch there.
Yeah.
And if I'm sharing Christ with someone in the community, my neighbor or someone in I don't know, a group I'm involved in or something. I don't know what normal people do. I do ministry all the time. So, but whatever they're involved in and they're trying to reach someone or a family member, take them to lunch at the cafe where Christ is exemplified, right? Yeah. And just put on display. Like we love Jesus and we're not shy about it. Scripture says that we're not to be ashamed of this gospel and we're not. And so he shines there and all you got to do is come let him enjoy an amazing lunch. What a great evangelism tool. Yeah. So we're excited about partnering in those ways too.
Yeah. Maybe anything else as you wrap up, but definitely maybe share some needs that you guys are hoping to connect or maybe places you see God at work and opportunities for us to help some more.
Yeah, for sure. Joshua, you got some of the needs we want to share?
Biggest one, I think, volunteers. I mean, and I just want to touch on them too. I mean, we do so much, like Mike just said, and we're able to do that because our volunteer base is about 225 strong.
Yeah.
And they are the reason we can do what we do in Muskegon County, but we're always in need, for more.
Do you want to talk about, well, first let's finish that thought. How does someone volunteer? They go to our website.
Yep, they go to our website, fill out a volunteer interest form. It'll be shot to one of us, and we will reach out to them. It's really that simple.
LoveInc.Muskegon.com.
Yep.
And you've made it clear there's all kinds of different gifts you could have. Yes. Maybe a guy or someone that likes to build, someone that is good with bikes, different things, good with kids, whatever.
We got a guy in our store that does woodworking. We got another guy that fixes sewing machines. We got another guy that fixes audio stereos. I mean, we have a place for anyone.
Cool. Yeah.
I promise you that.
Cool.
Yep.
So
love it. And then you want to tell them about Match and Serve too?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the cool things too with the cafe that we've seen is how many people have just rallied around this. If it's individuals or if it's businesses, we have this cool thing at Love Cafe where we do match days, where a individual or a business will match the day's sales at Love Cafe. 500, 1,000, 1,500, they match them. We blast in our social medias. We have it in our cafe. And every single one we see an increase of cafe reservations and sales up 70%. So that's a big, big, big way we can help. Also supporting a great cause too, right? So it's a lot of fun to do those for me. Okay. So yeah, if anybody's interested in that, hit me up.
Great way to support the cafe, and there's the attention, hey, it's so-and-so's anniversary. We're celebrating. They're matching up to $500 today. Come on in. So you can do it that way. Businesses have done it. They get the attention of our social media and that kind of thing. But as people come in, that's put in front of them, and people are encouraged to give more that way. We're coming off of winter. Praise the Lord. We're coming off of it was a harder winter this year, right?
Yeah.
Our spot downtown is tough to get to in the winter. So right now our traffic is increasing, but we had a like December, January. It was tough. And so our costs are way exceeding our income on that. So, one way you can help, come eat at the cafe, enjoy it. Donations toward that financially would be helpful just to get us over that hump. And we're seeing it already that the increase will come. We've talked to other business owners in that area on Western Avenue there across from the Amazon Apartments is where we are. Like, it's normal. Business will increase, the foot traffic will increase in the summer downtown. So it'll come back, but right now, there's a financial gap there for sure. So
okay, it's exciting.
It is, man.
Yeah, I love hearing just the reciprocal nature of churches and Love Inc. and tag teaming together with their neighbors. helping us see needs and meet needs that we miss, and maybe vice versa sometimes.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, a big part of it too, real quick, man, is the, you know, the downtown move. Our offices, you know, from downtown, we're within walking distance now. We're on bus routes. Yeah. You know, we're just close to all the apartment complexes down there. So that influx of neighbors in need, we're so much more accessible now too. So, cool. You know, what 5 years ago?
Yeah, not quite. About just under 4 years ago, or I think it is now. So I don't know, somewhere in there. We moved downtown. That building, we took a mortgage on, and then within, I think it was 7 months, something like that. People stepped up, and so we have zero debt on that building downtown, which is amazing. That allowed us to be positioned to take on the restaurant. We lease the restaurant. We'd love to own one someday, and you know, we're looking into all of that stuff. But you know, for us, it's been amazing to see the churches step up and partner. I think part of it is when you see an organization that is bleeding the mission and that is on fire for Christ, people want to partner and be a part of it. Mm-hmm. And so people do. They step up, and we got an incredible family, and we're just excited for the next 45 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's good.
Yeah, we're incredibly grateful. You're going to be here Sunday.
Joshua will be. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be here, man. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Good.
Get to hear a little bit more from you.
Any way we could be praying, we can get our people praying.
Yeah.
Financially, I can hear we need to be praying for financial resources.
Yeah, pray for financial resources. The restaurant's a little behind from where we projected, and but the Lord provides. Always be praying for volunteers. We need more, especially at the restaurant, but we need more. We need guys to go out with the truck at the store too, who can help out. I think our average truck muscle guy is about 70 years old.
I was just going to say 72, but yeah, 70 sounds about right.
So, so I don't know. We need more guys. Yeah. We're okay with 70-year-olds. That's great. But we just need more of them. And so always praying. Keep us on mission. The prayer that I pray every board meeting is, Lord, if we turn away from your mission and fail to return to it, may we cease to exist as an organization. We don't want to waste time. Like Gary Tidball, right?
That's bold.
Like Gary Tidball, I don't want to waste my time. That guy didn't want to waste anyone's time. He was about being on mission, on track with things. He held me accountable a couple of times. Absolutely. A lot of people, I think. And that's us. We don't want to waste anyone's time. We want to be about what Jesus is about. So, yeah, it's good.
Great. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Joshua, Mike, thanks so much. Love Inc. Check them out.
Love Inc. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem.